Get your house in order.
Do it today.
Get your house in order.
Do it right away.
For Jesus is coming.
No man knows where or when.
Get your house in order.
For he's coming back.
Let me tell you something. You know there's earthquakes, hurricanes, famine.
Hi, my name is Chris Meyers, and I became a believer about 13 years ago when I was 24 years old. Prior to that, growing up in my family, we didn't go to church unless it was for weddings and funerals, and so I didn't really have any kind of understanding of God and anything spiritual really. And my parents got divorced when I was about 8 years old, and then about 8 years later from that, my dad died from Hodgkin's disease cancer because he was in the Vietnam War and he contracted that disease through the Agent Orange spreading. And I remember being really angry at 16 and just lashing out, doing drugs, alcohol, and just wilding out. And I didn't care about anything, anybody. All I cared about was, getting high and doing what I could do to just live and get over the pain and hurt that I was feeling from being in a broken home and from losing my dad. And then when I was 24, after being in a really serious relationship that failed, it just really broke my heart. And that was the time when I think it all came together where God was able to get in and start working in my life. And I opened my heart up to Him for the first time. It was actually January 15th of 2001 that I became a believer. And it was crazy because when I let Him into my life, I didn't really understand everything about religion or anything. I knew I didn't care for it because it just left a bad taste in my mouth with these people who were saying one thing but then acting a different way. But I do know that day when I gave my life to Christ, there was just this weight lifted off me. It was just, I couldn't explain it. I just felt freer and lighter and relieved that, there was a God of the universe who loved me so much, and a father, that I could have forever, especially after losing my dad. And anyway, fast forward a couple years from there, I lost my mom. My mom actually passed away from breast cancer, and that was really hard, except for this time I had God in my life, and there was hope and there was peace through that time, even though, losing my mom was really hard. It was really crazy how God gave me peace about it, that He loved her and He was taking care of her, and He was gonna make things, work for His good, even through that dark time. But and then just 5 years ago, I had actually gone through another heartbreak, which really rocked my world and challenged my faith. My wife and I, started having problems, and she said she wanted to have a divorce, and it just broke my heart. I couldn't believe this was happening. And when I looked at my life as a Christian at that time, I knew a lot up in my mind, but I didn't know in my heart as much as I thought I did. And I tell people all the time that, I'd let Jesus in my heart at that time, but I gave Him just like a one-bedroom apartment, and I didn't let Him have full reign of my heart. And it wasn't until that moment where my heart was really being broken over losing a relationship that was really important to me, that I really opened up my heart fully to God and started just letting go and letting Him have full reign. And I had to go through a refining process. I joined a recovery group called Recovery for Life, and that really started transforming my walk and making it more intimate. And God opened up doors that I could start serving the homeless here at the Penn Ministry, and just the more I let go and let God, the more He came into my life and started, moving and lifting Him up through lifting me up, if that makes sense. And there's a verse that I'll say that I stuck to throughout that time. It was Matthew 6:33, and it says, "Seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, then all these things will be given to you." So that's what I've really clung to, and I just praise God that, He has been faithful and brought me through a lot of trials and tribulations, and all for His glory. So.
Hi, my name is Tammy Diaz, and I'm a ministry representative of ComingSoonJesus.org. I'm sitting here with Chris Meyers, who you just heard his testimony, and this is my band leader. We worship the Lord together, and out of his testimony, you will see that the Lord heals brokenness, and through broken relationships in Chris' life has helped him come to Jesus, and Jesus has made a difference in his life to help other people with broken lives here in Penn Ministry to be an example for them in his walk in the Lord, because our walk with the Lord is all about relationship and not religion. And I just thank you for listening to me again, and to know that Jesus is coming soon, and that we need to be ready. And through our relationship with Him is what helps us be ready. Thanks for listening.